The guy we were just talking about? Oh, Mike. Yeah, Mike.
Let's go. Shit. Es ist sehr kalt diese Nacht. Hier ist niemand. Go!
Student riot!
Where?
At the university, right now, let's...
What happened?
At the worst sport rally, the goon I sent to speak to us was more than usually repulsive, and he went too far. He said women were for breeding, not for schooling, and if some of you ladies don't have the looks to find your own men, I'll be glad to offer you some of mine. At the very least, I can promise you a good time. All hell broke loose. The girls in the gallery started booing, and they tried to arrest them, and the boys stood up for them. They're throwing Gestapo men out the window. It took me 10 minutes to get out of there. It's great.
Student demonstration. They've done it. Finally. And the girls started it, and we weren't there? What did I tell you? Come on, let's go. Oh, wait. Where are they? Are they inside?
Some have taken to the streets. They're heading for Gestapo headquarters. It's happening. It's really happening.
Hi, police. No! Damn it! What did you expect?
Let's go give a hand.
Scholl, telephone.
Who in hell? Wait for me.
I'm going out to take a look.
Alex, don't.
I'll keep a safe distance. If I can jump in, I will. If not, I won't. I'm not crazy.
I can't see anything. I'm going to get my coat. Shit. What is it? The signal again. What signal? The whistling. The Beethoven. Again? Who can it be? They were in a hurry. Public phone. I heard the whistling and they hung up. Somebody wants us to stay away for a while. To stop. Or we could do something so incredibly bold as to shake the whole nation. Are you crazy? Somebody knows who we are. Somebody in there knows who we are. Something that would be like a great blaze of light across the sky, calling all the decent people of Germany to action. There may not be any decent people left in Germany. That's not true. Look at today. Awfully quiet out there all of a sudden. People are good, they're just frightened. Where are they, Sophie? Where are they? They were in the streets a moment ago. A handful, just like us. The rest are silent. They're waiting. How in hell can you be so sure? Don't you want to find out? We mustn't commit any desperate act.
It's over.
They stopped it.
And the students?
They're arresting everybody. And worse.
Who's desperate? Let's get something to eat.
There's something else, Hans.
What?
The people. They shut their doors when the riot police went after the students in the streets. Nobody would let them in.
They're scared. They're just scared. They're waiting. How's the new baby? Oh, Chris, he's so pretty.
3 kids now?
3. you know the whereabouts of Alexander Schmorell? There's nothing to be afraid of. I know you're not directly involved. But here's something I need to tell you. All you need to tell me is where to find Schmorell.
You're very wrong about
Stop.
me. It was...
No, just the others. Tell me about the others.
The others
are me. Do that. Of all the stupid. It's not what you wanted. What do you want, Mohr? I'm going to give you a chance to reconsider your statement.
Why?
I'm giving you a choice, goddammit.
The moment of choice is past. I have never felt so alive in my entire life. Nothing will ever feel like that again.
The only way to avoid disappointment is to die young.
They say you die young, you trick death, you live forever.
You hold yourself in high regard.
I must. God made me.
Then he must have made me too.
Everything turns out right in the end.
Really? Why did you call yourselves the White Rose?
Haven't you ever seen one?
A fragile flower, my wife says. Can't keep one longer than a day. That's all. Thank you.
Business.
In the middle of the day? That's dangerous. Why?
It needs to be done.
At the university? Hans, that's too close.
It's time. They're ready.
I wouldn't.
That student riot was the first public demonstration in years. It's time. It's going to happen. It's going to be at the university. I know.
I'm coming with you then.
No.
Why not?
Three's too many. We're going to look like a delegation.
Remember, we're taking the early Berlin train tomorrow morning. People are counting on us. If you start something at the university...
We're hurrying at the station.
Yes, and we're meeting the other sister's apartment. A man named Bonhoeffer, a clergyman, someone from the army, and someone from Italy.
How do you get a passport?
Got himself invited to a lecture on Renaissance art.
A contract with the resistance? Finally.
Do we celebrate tonight?
Of course. The studio around 8.
I've got a bottle of wine. Don't do the what I wouldn't do.
We've got to go.
Sophie, wait.
What is it?
Don't go.
What?
Don't go. Stay with me. It's such a beautiful day. We'll take a walk and feed the pigeons in the plaza. We'll buy a ribbon for your hair and read sonnets on a park bench and we'll watch a movie. Later we'll go dancing. Right. Well, I've got something for you. For good luck.
It's going to be a good day.
Who's there? Who's there? Who are you?
Alexander Schmorell has just turned himself in, sir. They're all here. We can begin the documents.
Monday's too soon.
The assize court is reserved then.
Provided the indictments are ready.
I beg your pardon?
I said provided the indictments are ready. And I am in charge of the indictments, Mahler. They're not ready.
It's been 4 days
Dr.
now.
Freiser's going to want a properly documented case.
What?
He's going to need a properly documented case.
Since when?
Come again?
Since when does the People's Court require extensive documentation?
Mahler, are you officially alleging that Dr. Roland Freiser and the People's Court are in the habit of proceeding without sufficient proof?
Of course not.
Certainly you cannot object to my protecting the court's best interest by furnishing them with the necessary evidence. That could be considered obstructed. I would be forced to report that sort of thing to my superiors in Berlin.
That's not what
Allied propaganda has it we're rotting from the inside. Dr. Goebbels is the one another army scandal on the front page, and I agree with him. Because this can go very wrong if we're not careful.
It's a clear-cut case,
God
sir.
damn it, you're beginning to sound like those kids, Mahler. Nothing is clear-cut. There is a war going on. Ordinary solutions do not apply. Ordinary measures do not apply. Ordinary thinking does not apply. Baur! Bring me that girl again.
Yes, sir.
You start with Schmorell.
Damn. Spirit. Moral duty.
Cowardice. Where the hell? What am I supposed to? What am I supposed to? Time. Time. There's no more time.
I understand you have some dreary people called Scholl here. I suggest you release them at once if you don't wish to appear too ridiculous. All they know is Apostolical and Church. They're from Ulm. I use the studio alone.
They confessed, Schmorell. You're too late. You didn't have to turn yourself in after all.
All this on the word of some Jakob Schmidt.
If you'll sign here, I'll take your admission.
Guilt of Freudian, eh? I'm sorry, I'm not signing anything without my father's attorneys present. Has he been contacted, by the way?
You don't really expect all that money to protect you from prosecution and conviction, do you?
Careful, Mahler, that remark reeks of Bolshevism.
Where were you on the morning of February 18th,
What year?
1943?
Why don't you guess the janitor?
Does the name The White Rose mean anything to you?
I'm not all that keen on gardening. The staff does that at home.
Think you're gonna get away with this just because you're all members of respectable Aryan families?
I'm half Russian, you know. Who knows what kind of perverted Slavic blood seeped into me in the womb?
You consider yourself an outsider.
If you mean a creator of his own world and not a mere inhabitant, you mean an artist? I don't have the talent.
Or a resistance fighter?
German resistance? That's a contradiction in terms.
No, Schmorell. You are a perfect example of a mind distorted by what you intellectuals like to call culture.
Actually, I prefer to run about in skins, rubbing sticks together to make fire. The only problem is, the knuckles tend to get a bit raw.
For Germany. Germany is the way. No, she's the Hessian forest. Goethe, Mendelssohn, the sun setting on the Rhine. God. There is no God. That very well may be. But there is the idea of God. And like most ideas, it far surpasses reality as we know it.
My faith expressly forbids all involvement, direct or indirect, with the destruction of any and all human life.
Come on, man. Thousands of Roman Catholics have fought countless wars and slaughtered countless people.
I cannot account for others, sir. I can only answer for myself.
Who is at the head of this so-called White Rose organization?
I am.
Does your faith permit you to lie?
I would have to discuss that with the Jesuit father.
Are you receiving orders from abroad?
We receive no orders, sir, from anybody.
Where did the money come from?
Our personal allowances from home. That's why the quality of the paper's not so good.
Are you going to tell me that you did this all by yourselves?
I did it. I set it all up.
How?
How? Well, you know, it wasn't easy.
See? Why, Graf?
Because there comes a time when you can't continue to be blown about by whatever wind may come your way. One must make a free choice. It's the Christian, the human thing to do.
Christian?
Free will, we have it, we must exercise it.
Is all this about God?
Or honor, don't know which. Can't tell them apart.
We are specifically referring to acts of aggression perpetrated against German citizens.
Right to not commit acts of aggression against his lawful German citizens when they remain within the law. That is Allied propaganda designed to undermine national morale.
What is that large area enclosed in barbed wire and heavily guarded just off road to Dachau? We happened on it one sunny day on our way home from the front.
No doubt you are referring to a camp for political prisoners and prisoners of war, of which the Allies have several.
And the yellow stars in pink triangles on the uniforms of these prisoners of war, are they some sort of foreign war decoration?
Where do you think you are? Who do you think you are talking to?
Don't make me answer that.
Under whose orders do you act?
Very important people.
Important people.
Very high up.
Foreign agents?
German.
Name.
Friedrich Schiller. Ludwig van Beethoven. Heinrich Heine. Thomas Mann.
You're full of books, aren't you?
There's worse things to be full of, I dare say.
Talk like a Jew, Schmorell.
That's a relief. I thought I was getting a bit too Teutonic was good for national culture.
Are you somehow under the impression that you're your debate class at university?
Nobody in their right mind will confuse Gestapo headquarters with a place of thought.
You are going before the People's Court on the charge of high treason. Do you know what that means?
It means we will be tried on little to no evidence. The defense will be public, appointed, and a sham. There will be no press, and the procedure will be merely a formality. We will be convicted and sentenced to death. Some will be hanged or guillotined.
What is your relationship to Falcon?
Never heard of him.
To Trap
Don't know him.
to Alba?
Don't know him.
Most of these people have been arrested already. Why don't you cooperate?
I do know Matilda Schwarzkopf.
Why didn't you run away? If you're a good alpinist, you could have gone straight over to Switzerland.
I'm not the running away type.
You expect me to believe that?
More, if you believe Hitler, you believe anything. The war is lost. It will be months before we come to trial, and months before the appeals and final sentence go through. By then, you will be a bad memory in history, and the world will know that there were Germans who refused to live dishonorably.
The trial is set for tomorrow morning at 10. No appeals will be heard, and there will be no press of any kind.
Who's the presiding judge?
Dr. Roland Freisler for the People's Court.
Why bother with the trial at all?
I don't know what you mean.
Yes, you do. Freisler is a hanging judge, and the People's Court, an indecent travesty.
Dr. Freisler is an outstanding defender.
We're so uncomfortable with the truth there, Mohr.
What is true?
Pontius Pilate, John, 18.
You have a death wish.
A national German characteristic. I, however, am radically attached to life.
You were once in uniform. You've seen thousands of German soldiers die. How can you possibly turn against your country at a time like this?
For the other German dead.
What other German dead?
There are camps. Do you know what happens there?
I have nothing to do with that.
We had neighbors, a family called Nathan. Germans, German nationals, Mohr, in Germany for generations. In fact, you couldn't get any more German than that. But you know something? They've disappeared. No one knows where they've gone. Their house is empty, their door boarded up. I want them back, Mohr. Can you do that for me? Can you find the Nathans? Because until I see them again, until I hear their piano, see their milk bottles on the doorstep, until I see them turning on the lights in their parlor, until then, I will hold you accountable.
Do you want to disappear with them? Is that going to help them?
I want my neighbors back. I want my country back. Give me back my country, you son of a bitch!
I'm finished with the prisoner.
So you were in foreign employ.
Well, yes.
Where is the headquarters of this White Rose organization?
In the Black Forest. Deep in the Black Forest.
The Black Forest is a rather large area. Where exactly in the Black Forest?
Behind a woodshed.
Why don't we start at the beginning?
Why? Was everything to lose?
For me? I need to know who I am.
We're in the 20th century, in the middle of a world war. That kind of individualism is outdated and out of place.
This is my time, and this is my place.
Tell me, Sophie, these fellow fighters of the resistance, these young Germans, these friends, these brothers that the White Rose kept calling to arms, have they answered? Have they come forth? Are they storming our doors to set you free? These German people who, as you say, know the truth and what's decent and right. Do you see them? Do you hear them?
They're afraid.
Yes, of you. People like their heroes nice and simple, Sophie. They like them to drop dead on the battlefield, clutching a flag. They like the poor sods who die in their place by chance, not by choice. They're fondly remembered and with great relief. Thank God it wasn't me. But you, people, good people, won't like you now or later. They'll think you're arrogant, overeducated, and dangerous. And your worst enemy will be the honest man who will find his convictions, because he has convictions after all, getting in the way of his prosperity. And he will secretly think, who the hell did they think they were? Years from now, in remote places of the world, school children will know Adolf Hitler and will never have heard of Sophie Scholl.
I'm afraid. You're afraid. Life is frightening. That sordid little man in Berlin is no more frightening than life.
Do you imagine you die for the good of humanity?
Life and death aren't transferable. They are private affairs.
Ah. Yes. Very neat. Very neat. You must have read that somewhere, because it doesn't ring true. Real. It sounds like literature, like something clever somebody writes so that people can quote it, like the language of these goddamn pamphlets. I don't believe it. Real life doesn't always turn out so neat, so tidy. In real life, someone always has to deal with your death. Pick up the pieces, as it were. Clean up.
Nobody.
Your parents, for instance.
What?
Your mother. What about her? Think about her. Not in the abstract, really think about her. What was she wearing last time you saw her? When you went home? You do go home, don't you, when you're not printing pamphlets?
I don't.
What was she wearing? Answer me.
Blue.
What? I can't hear you.
A blue sweater.
Why?
What?
Why does she wear blue? Does she wear it often?
Yes.
Ah. She likes blue. Why, I wonder? Do you know? Are her eyes blue? Do you even know?
Gray.
What? I can't hear you.
Gray.
What about your father? What's he like? What color are his eyes?
I don't want to.
Describe him to me. What are they like, these people who are going to have to clean up after you?
I can't.
Why not? After all, he's just a man, like me.
He's nothing like you. My father is nothing like you.
Ah. Do you have his face now? Do you have his face right before you, in your mind? Will he survive your death, do you think? And your brothers? Both of you at once. His son, his boy. Does he call him my boy? Fathers do that now. Think about him, Sophie. Think hard. Think of them at breakfast, lunch, dinner. Think of him shaving. Think of her cooking, ironing your clothes. Did you say she still does your laundry?
Don't.
That's all, thank you.
A bird singing in the dead of winter. What a beautiful day. It's so clear. Isn't life magnificent? Eleanor, no, you're not. Do you think, is there a way that we might live? Isn't there a little back door, a forgotten crack in the wall, a broken lock, a shattered window, anything that we might slip through? Perhaps nobody would notice.
Franz Vader, I'd like to dictate a statement from one of the suspects to sign.
Eisenhower told you that?
Yes! Well, not directly.
Through an intermediary?
Yes!
Name?
MacArthur.
General MacArthur.
Corporal MacArthur.
There is a Corporal MacArthur, who acts as a
He's
go-between.
also in contact with Wyszynski,
Which Wyszynski would that be?
the one in Moscow.
Yes. Don't you ever go home?
We're short-handed, sir. This came for you?
Dr. Fry's here. You seem to want to say something, if I read your expression correctly. I'm not always sure.
It's that girl, sir.
What about her?
She smuggled a cigarette to Prisoner Graf upstairs. She scribbled the word freedom all over it.
Yes, well, I don't think we should call in the stormtroopers just yet.
She's using her water rations for something, a flower, to keep it alive.
I don't have time to listen to this drivel.
It's a prisoner guard, sir. They like them.
Who?
Those kids, the guards like them. I don't know why. If you like, you can move them and I can take them over.
It won't be necessary, Baur.
But I could.
That will be all.
Yes, sir.
Goddamn wasted time, little shit! There are no foreign agents, no organization, just a few students recruited from other universities. Stupid. How in the hell did they do it?
Now, Mahler, are we going to run amok here every time a college student and his professor decide to be unhappy with the government?
An attack on the present government endangers the national security of the country.
These kids are just stupid. If we have people prosecuted for stupidity, we'd have to do away with half the world.
That is not an inconceivable thought.
I am not a public defender. That is not my job. I only deal with criminals. This is really outside my jurisdiction.
Criminal law is not a fixed thing, Henderson. It redefines itself with every age. You are bound by oath to enforce it, or I would be glad to accept your resignation and turn it into the right ministers of justice.
Is that why you're here?
I'm here to offer you an option. However, why do you find this so difficult?
Do we have a confession from Professor Hubert?
Oh, yes, sir. We have his wife and sister, too. Although I don't think they're involved.
Why not round up his 12-year-old daughter while we're at it? We don't want her getting in contact with Churchill and precipitating the downfall of the Third Reich.
Sir.
A joke, Mahler. A joke. Don't you people have a sense of humor?
Humor, sir. At a time like this.
What's so different about this time that other times have not seen? That's all. Thank you. Oh, by the way, I don't think I'll let you have the girl.
I beg your pardon, sir?
The girl. You can't have her. We might need her. There will have to be an official statement sooner or later. She'll be very useful.
Yes, sir. These people, the Scholls, Graf, Hula, they seem convinced it's only a matter of weeks before the Allies march in Berlin. I wondered, sir, what is your opinion of that?
I am not a military man. I have no opinion on the matter. I am confident that the Wehrmacht will handle military strategy appropriately, while we at home worry about internal problems, the handling of which is what we're paid for.
Of course, sir.
And Mahler?
Yes, sir.
Never ask me a leading question like that again, or I'll have you arrested for insubordination. I haven't tendered my resignation yet.
No, sir. You haven't.
That will be all. Eleanor, just talk to me a little. No, just tired. We're all tired. Have you seen Maria today? Good. Good. Yes. It is late, isn't it? The baby. Oh, and you too. That's wonderful. No, I'll be on time. Just a meeting. No, just a headache. I'm all right. By the way, have you found my watch yet? What? No, I'll be on time. Yes. Garden gate. I have to fix it. It isn't safe. You put things away for safety, you never find them again. Freedom and honor. Christ.
There's a man here to see you. Carl Minor, press. Wants to see you about the suspects. He was told publicity of any kind might delay proceedings, but he isn't quite sure where the order came from. Whether it's just local or it's unclear. So I told him to talk to you, sir. You're the one. You're the chief. What should I say, sir? Should I tell him to leave, sir? Or should he stay?
How much does he know?
With your permission, sir, perhaps Herr Mahler has been careless. There's parties in the students' quarters in the middle of the day, sir. It's not how we do things here in Munich. That's at least the way it looks to me, and it would to other people. After all, sir, you haven't talked to anybody. You haven't even moved from this office. I'm your driver. I know.
Put him in one of the private rooms, on the other side. Where is she?
Next door.
Bring her in. Have you read the statement?
Yes. This last paragraph. It says here that had I understood what the White Rose pamphlets were really saying,
Yes.
I wouldn't have contributed.
That's what it says.
Yes, my brother signed it.
Your brother,
Yes. Has he signed it?
Sophie, your brother won't be.
Won't be what?
He's hopelessly incriminated. There's nothing.
Looks like you're going to have an early spring this year.
Yeah. No. Wait. Please, just listen to. I can't. All of you, I can't. Please, just listen to. Will you sign this?
Here, Mohr, if my brother dies, I'll have to die too.
Why?
That seems to be your favorite question. So we won't be so alone.
No, you see, you can't have it all. It can't all be your way. Life just isn't like that. You want everything, yes. You can't. Just sign this thing. Tell them you didn't know what you were doing. You'll go to prison for a while.
That's not true.
I'm sure that if you think about it, you'll see that.
No!
Look,
No!
why quarrel with a few words that might save your life?
My word is all I have.
Is this all about pride?
A little of that too.
At a time like this.
It only counts at a time like this.
Look, it is possible. There is a chance that Germany might lose the war. All anyone would have to do who doesn't like the present state of things is wait it out. Keep his mouth shut. Everything passes in time. The right ministers of justice and propaganda do not like exercising extreme measures against young Aryan dissidents who can show that they've been misled, but
We got them there, didn't we?
sometimes you sound like your friend Schmorell.
I like that.
Why can't you pretend to go along? Fool everybody. Have the last laugh.
That would mean I was scared of the beast.
Millions of people pretend to go on every day of their lives so they can survive. You think them all beasts.
Oh, there are very few beasts. The real damage is done by those millions who just want to survive. Those honest men who just want to be left in peace, who don't want their little lives disturbed by anything bigger than themselves. Those with no sides and no causes. Those who won't take the measure of their own strength for fear of antagonizing their shadows. Those who don't like to make enemies or waves. Those for whom passion, truth, honor, freedom, principles are just literature. Those for whom everything is relative. The excuse of the man with no values. Those who have no absolutes because their souls can't encompass them. Those who live small, mate small, and die small. If you keep it small, you'll keep it under control. If you don't make any noise, the boogeyman won't find you. And it's an illusion because they die too. Those people who roll their spirits into tiny little balls to hide them under their puny lives to be safe. Safe from what? Life is always on the edge of death. The narrow streets lead the same places as the big wide avenues, and the little candle burns itself out just like the flaming torch. I choose my own way to burn.
What about the rest of us, who can't think about burning up, who have a very hard time just going day to day, surviving?
I don't want to survive, I want to live!
Sign the goddamn paper and tell them you didn't know what you were doing. You've lied to me for days. You can certainly lie How do you remember who you are, Mohr? How do you keep track of your own soul? The human race happens to look like this at the moment. Join the human race, Sophie.
Ah, yes, that one. Do something despicable. After all, it's human. I don't want to join you.
I have always tried my best.
You haven't tried your best? Your best is with your life, and you haven't tried with your life.
I'm like everybody else out there. I'm not God. I'm a civil servant, a simple man with a job. And I can't give it up whenever, because things change. I don't join movements, I don't sign petitions, I don't put my name to. My wife signs my Christmas cards. I would do anything to survive. You say I look the other way? Not really. Most of us aren't given clarity of vision in the midst of chaos. That is only possible in extreme youth or extreme belief. Extreme youth lasts a moment,
And I only want to last that perfect moment.
and extreme belief is something that most of us cannot sustain, like perfection. It wears with the years.
It's let go of, like falling asleep in the snow.
If you don't let go of it, it will kill you, Sophie. And nothing is worth your life. Nothing. What makes death a victory?
Civilization.
I am not civilization, goddammit! I am not a disembodied concept. I am a man. I want to live. I am a family. I want them to live. Grow up. What do you think you're accomplishing? What's it all for?
To remind people
Oh, what?
that we make the world not the other way around.
To what avail, Sophie? To what avail?
It's right. It's the right thing to do.
Life is a meeting thing, Sophie. Those who need to live it, banners flying high in the wind, always end up being tripped by the others. Those with no room for passion of any kind. The majority, who have their feet planted firmly on the ground and eyes steadily halfway up. Don't make me trip you, Sophie. I am trying to save your life.
You wouldn't save my brother. You wouldn't save a Jew. You can't save me.
You're not a Jew!
Yes, I am. Today I am my brother and I am a Jew. You're not trying to save me, you're trying to save yourself.
From what?
You tell me!
Baur! Baur! Get this bitch out of here! Here are the indictments. Take them.
Any amendments, sir?
None.
Extenuating circumstances?
None. Take them!
That pressman, sir, outside, waiting. Sir?
No.
Of course, sir. I thought I'd just check. I don't do anything without checking.
I love early mornings. I love dancing cheek to cheek with a man. Men's faces just shaved a little rough. The scent of tobacco and cologne. I wonder what it would have been like having a child or stalking the tiger in Burma, or crossing the high seas on a 20-foot clipper, or hearing the Missa Solemnis in St. Stephen's Cathedral, or the bells of Notre Dame at midnight on Christmas Eve. I love the fur on the head of my dog, Freddie. He always smells so doggy. I love that. And the scent of fresh coffee, too. And jasmine. Oh, I wish I could remember everything I've ever loved. But there isn't enough time. There's never enough time. Now I understand that deep stab of pain I felt whenever I looked upon great beauty. We take leave of everything we've ever loved just as we embrace it for the first time. I have never loved life so much. Oh, God. My parents.
Up to Bryson. Imagine that slip of a girl stood up to Freisler in a trial for her life. Jumped to her feet and said, right to his face, well, somebody had to make a start. Right to his face. Baur, you should have seen him shrieking about treason and sabotage, all right in the face. But he never looked her in the eye. They were so alone in the midst, but not adrift, a sea of uniforms, brown, gray, black. That screaming judge. And suddenly, this terrible voice was heard from the back of the courtroom. Tell that man I am here to defend my children. It was the father. He looked like a god. I have never seen a man look like that. When they dragged him out, he was shouting, "They will go down in history!" They were taken out, manacled, and Scholl grabbed the hands of his brother who made his way through the courtroom and said, "Don't give in." In handcuffs, condemned to death. Still fighting. I think I understand. I mean, look at the father. I have a daughter who... Will they hang them?
No, they will be guillotined.
They're Germans, Mahler. Surely they can be put away somewhere, forgotten.
Forgotten? They haven't happened.
Has the time been set?
This afternoon, 5 o'clock.
Doesn't that strike you as a bit frantic?
No, sir. Efficient.
What shall we do?
Sir.
What?
Do?
Where are they?
Stabenheim prison, sir. For execution.
Have their families been alerted?
We don't want to make any more of this than we need to, sir.
Me?
Oh, Berlin. Now, I have here another list of names. Wittgenstein, Herzl, Schulze.
What are they doing?
Pardon?
Those kids, what are they doing?
They seem uncommonly calm, sir.
Yes. From the beginning. I should have known. A pride of lions. Graceful. Graceful! What the price of grace these days? Perfectly. What else today?
This new list of suspects?
What's the date?
February 22nd, sir.
5 days.
What?
I have known them only 5 days. Still winter. Beautiful day. So bright, such deep colors. A bird on that tree. This office needs painting. Everything is so clear today. Except this picture of me. Third from the left. Graduation. Police Academy. I was 21. It's blurred. I think I need glasses. Time, decay. Everything passes, Mahler. Remember that.
Why don't I come back later?
I've got to go to shower.
What for?
I've got to get to shower.
They believed in something. And I believe in something else. What's been puzzling me these last few days is I haven't the slightest idea of what in the hell you believe in, Mohr.
Long live freedom!
Believe. Now that's odd vocabulary for the times. I'm a simple man.
It's easier than I thought.
I'm a simple man. If there were ever anything greater than my simple life, I never saw it, it never spoke to me, I never heard it.
You seem to take particular interest in the girl, sir.
I have a daughter her age. She's a rather bovine creature who waddles through life, glassy-eyed and unrazzled. Like most of us, she'll live long and wrinkle like.
May God have mercy on my soul.
Have you ever been face to face with passion?
Passion? Do you sign this, sir?
I never signed anything. What is it?
Formality, sir. A bill to the families for the use and cleanup of the instrument.
What?
The blade, sir. 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 About this list, there's no copy of it just yet. It's been scribbled by one of my agents as we took names down. There's some 80 suspects.
Leave it on my desk. Close the office, Baur. I'm going home early. And to answer your earlier question, Paul, I believe in what most of us believe. I believe in trying my best. No. In getting by. Yes. The most we can hope for is to get by. Heroes and demagogues will always shake things up for a while. But if we're clever, we'll still be here when they're gone. Long after they've burned up. We'll still be here, just getting by.
Friedrich Schiller, Ludwig van Beethoven, Heinrich Heine.
You mustn't underestimate yourself, sir. People like you are of enormous use to the right. Why, we wouldn't be here without you.
I have to fix my garden gate.
Yes, sir.
What did you think? Who, sir? Those kids, what did you think of them?
Thanks, sir. Oh, I don't know, cocky little bastards.
Yes. So, nothing changes then. Everything stays the same.
Oh no, sir, the janitor got a medal.
Who?
Schmidt, 3,000 marks.
Yes. It's gone.
Sir?
So quiet. What time is it? I don't have a watch.
5 o'clock, sir.
Good afternoon, Baur.
This is my time. This is the best of me.
I wonder what's for dinner.
Our amazing director. Would not have been possible without Emily's consistent positivity and love for theater, this theater company, and all of us. And from the whole cast and the whole company, we just want to say that thank you so much for being our director and that we love you.